What's up, everybody? Forrest here from the FoCo Flow Show, coming to you from my favorite rock drop feature in the trails behind my house here in Charlottesville, Virginia. And if you're like me, you are most likely dealing with some semblance of the coronavirus pandemic, where most of us are at this point being asked to social distance ourselves, to flatten the curve, if not to full quarantine, shelter at home. So for all of us being the humanitarian folks that I know that we all are, I hope we are doing our part to keep the risk down and to prevent the spread of the virus. However, for most folks in most areas, mountain biking is still allowed, just maybe not so much in groups or where trails are closed. So I thought it might be helpful to put a video together where we talk about the top 5 tips for mountain biking in a pandemic, or in this case, the top 5 tips for mountain biking in the coronavirus situation. So hang on here. If you like the content, make sure you like and subscribe. And while we can't meet together, if you get out there on the trail, make sure you find that flow. So hopping right into it, the first tip that we have is to clean and disinfect your contact points on your bike in areas where you may come in contact with other people, other things, the outside world. You see me using some Clorox disinfecting wipes here to wipe down the handlebars, the grip levers, the saddle. Probably not the pedals. I don't know that those will ever come in contact with anything else other than your shoes. And also might be worth paying attention to your water bottle, because if you're like me, sometimes that thing just gets reused 5, 6, 7 times before you actually wash it. Maybe I'm the only one. At any rate, I don't know if those Clorox wipes are specifically designed to kill the coronavirus, but I know that those disinfecting properties are better than nothing and an opportunity to sort of minimize the risk. Your helmet is another contact point that you're sweating in and then leaving in your pack for any amount of time is an opportunity for bacteria or virus potentially to hang on surfaces for longer than you realize. I know this might seem like a little bit overkill, but I think the precautions here are probably wise compared to not doing anything at all. So it's an easy tip that we can all take to sort of minimize the risk on all of the contact points that are sort of there outside. And sort of by extension also goes to what you do with your water bottle. If you're like me, I almost never wash that thing. I just sort of keep filling it back up with water and keep using it. Maybe I'm the only one, but if not, pay attention to how often you wash that thing. Be consistent when you're drinking. Don't share water bottles. You can stay healthy and hydrated while on the trail. The second tip we have for mountain biking in a pandemic is to make sure you carry a first aid kit. Truthfully, this is probably good advice for any time when you're mountain biking, but especially in a situation where we are seeing hospitals and healthcare workers overrun. You want to make sure that you have the things that you need to take care of anything minor to medium level significance while on the trail, so that you don't have to go to urgent care, don't have to go to these places to take care of. Yeah, I mean, a little scrape or something, I know most of us don't worry about that, but even something even a little bit more serious, like a bee sting or maybe a deeper scrape or something that you can disinfect. Make sure you have the things that you need here. This is a picture of the one that I carry to the trailhead. I don't always carry it with me on the trail, but now might be the right time to do exactly that. We've got sanitary gloves, disinfectant wipes, antibiotic ointments, and a lot of other things, so that if you do go into some of the more technical trails in your area, attempt things like the Sharonda Rock Garden here, that you have the ability to take care of anything minor. Again, I'm not recommending you don't go to the hospital if you need it, but you want to take care of the minor things that you can with the first aid kit.
Yeah. Ooh, got it. Yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo.
So our next tip is probably the most difficult one for me personally, and that is to practice social distancing and avoid gatherings if you go for a ride. If you are like me here in Virginia, you are probably under a stay-at-home or shelter-in-place order from the government, where we're asked to only go out for essential means like medical assistance and or grocery shopping. But technically, fitness is also quote unquote allowed, but we are all expected to practice social distancing, remaining 6 to 10 feet away. This is very tricky, especially if you're interested in mountain biking with anybody else. You see me here with my son. I went down to Angler's Ridge, and here you see lots of people sort of gathering and hanging around. I met my friend Jesse and his son there, but we were very careful to not come in contact with each other. We ate lunch on separate benches, but lots of people kind of hanging out and milling about. Again, we didn't touch anybody. I'm asking for directions here. But I think you have to be very careful as you look for ways to flatten the curve, to get on the other side of this, and perhaps if these things don't improve more quickly with our current situation in the coronavirus, then perhaps even these types of interactions should be avoided, and you should work towards maybe picking one mountain bike buddy that you go with, if at all. Maybe you go solo. There's that hashtag to ride safe, ride solo right now, and maybe that's the right approach during the current situation until things start to improve.
If you go kind of past out where the pump track used to be, you've kind of gone too far, take a right.
Okay.
And then you're just going to kind of go up and continue kind of almost like think about going right.
Yeah, sure.
And you'll get up to the top.
Our fourth tip is somewhat similar to the other reasons around not overwhelming the hospital system, and that is to don't take any unnecessary risks. You heard me reference just a minute ago the hashtag ride safe, ride solo. This is around not taking the risk that might end you up actually in the hospital with a broken collarbone or separated wrist or something crazy like that. And so effectively, if there's those really technical, challenging features, big gap jumps, rock drops, things that you don't think that you're ready for or haven't done before, now's the time to avoid those features. Here you've got me getting out in some of my backyard trails with my son Forrest, which forces me to ride slow and just to encourage him. It's a great opportunity. We're family, so we can ride together, and that technically counts as riding solo. So maybe that's an opportunity to slow down the pace a little bit. Don't go quite so sendy as you might normally do, so that you don't invite any risk that would land you in the hospital when our hospital workers and doctors are needed to take care of those that are directly suffering from the current pandemic situation.
You see that log up ahead? You can easily pull up over that one. That one's no biggie. So do not stop. Pedal good. And then I want you to pedal, 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 pull up. Go, go, go. Pedal, 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 up, pedal again. Good try.
So our fifth and final tip for mountain biking in a pandemic is to explore other ways to bike. Maybe that's an opportunity to get some cross-training done if you have a home gym or access to fitness equipment. Perhaps it's an opportunity to visit an old friend. Maybe you've got a stationary bike, and while not nearly as fun as actual mountain biking, maybe throw on a new episode of the FoCo Flow Show and have some fun watching the virtual trails that we can get out there and flow together. And if you lose interest doing any of those other more traditional means to bike in other ways, then maybe there's an opportunity to explore your creative side. But of course, if artistic expression isn't your thing, there are more traditional means to pass the time. With less access to trails, it's a great time to do any kind of maintenance or updates on your bike. I took this opportunity to swap out the Maxxis Minions that were on the Ripmo and give these Michelin Wild Enduro Trail tires a try. I'll do a video coming up here in a few just to give you a review on how I think those are faring. So as we're wrapping up here, it's safe to say that opportunities to connect with our mountain bike buddies like this are currently going to be replaced with opportunities to stay socially distant like this, which is not fun for those of us that love riding with our friends. But we got to do our part to flatten the curve and to stay separate so we can get on the other side of this thing. Again, I hope you guys are hanging in there. You're staying safe. You're staying healthy. Take mind of these tips if you can, so that we can make sure that we do our part to do whatever we need to keep the world healthy. And if you're liking this video and you've enjoyed the content, make sure you like and subscribe. And if nothing else, get out there and find that flow.